Hey, welcome back to nationalhsfb.com. I'm your host, Larry Godwin, along with my counterpart, Joe Mamone from Prep Gridiron Logistics. Joe, you and I have had a pretty good time this summer interviewing the most prominent high school head football coaches all across the country. But we're doing something a little bit different tonight. We're talking about one of your premier kickoff classics that you helped rearrange, or not rearrange, but helped arrange. That's the Georgia Florida Challenge between two prominent South Georgia teams and two prominent South Florida teams.
That's
So,
right. hmm
so that's coming up this next weekend, next Saturday in Valdosta, Georgia, at Martin Stadium, the home site of the Lowndes Vikings. Tell us a little bit about that challenge.
Uh, Thanks, Larry. Appreciate the opportunity to speak about this inaugural event. Since I've met you over the years, I've always wanted to visit Valdosta. And in all my years of doing what I do, I've never been there. I will be arriving there this Saturday morning sometime. And I'm real excited about it. So about a year ago, I'd say, I've worked with Lowndes and Colquitt over the years in finding them out-of-state opportunities when they've asked for them.
Yeah.
So I emailed both the ADs and the head coaches at the time and said, "Hey, I have this idea. I'm basically mimicking what I already did up in the Atlanta area. We had a couple of years ago, I think it was 2018. We did a Gwinnett County versus the USA type of event. It was a doubleheader where I had Bergen Catholic come down and play Grayson, and I had Deerfield Beach, Florida, come down and play Buford, and Buford was the host. So basically, I spoke to the two ADs and I said, "Hey, I did this up in the Atlanta area. I'd like to do it down by you." And then they thought it was a great idea. One of the assistant ADs had done a similar event, but in the sport of baseball, and they called it the Georgia Florida Challenge.
That's
So
right.
we just copied that name, and God, whatever it is, 6 months later, and 1 week to go, we're counting down the days to kickoff. We're in the first game. We're going to have Deerfield Beach taking on Colquitt County, and then the main event, we're going to have number 15 ranked American Heritage taking on your Lowndes Vikings.
Yeah. So speaking of Lowndes and Colquitt, in South Georgia, they both belong to some would consider a perennial powerhouse region when it comes to high school football. And they're also bitter rivals on the football field. The communities get along, but the football teams are big time rivals. How in the world did you get two rivals to cooperate in a kickoff classic to play both games in the same stadium? Was that difficult at all?
Larry, I've been told many times before that I'm one of the best salespeople in the history of the world, and I think that just proves it.
It took some. You must have some magical words to get those two to cooperate like that. But kudos to you, man. I'm glad to see it happen.
Yeah,
So
and Larry,
so
the good thing about it is, because these games are such high profile,
yeah.
we were able to get them on the Flow Football channel,
Mhm.
which means I'm able to pay out really good streaming rights to both schools. So I'm sure that had something to do with it too. My persuasiveness also included a couple of checks that are going to help both host programs.
Yeah. Now, if you're a South Georgia football fan and you're whether you're a fan of Lowndes or Colquitt, what can we expect from these South Florida? I mean, American Heritage is a really prominent team. Don't know much about Deerfield Beach. What can you tell us about either one of these teams?
Well, let's talk about Deerfield Beach first.
Okay.
I have a soft spot in my heart for them because they were one of the first clients I ever had when I started this company 7 years ago. One of the first games I ever put together, maybe one of the first 5 games in my career I ever put together, was Deerfield Beach. Came up and played St. Joseph's High School up in New Jersey here. St. Joe's is in the same conference as Powers, like Don Bosco and Bergen Catholic and St.
Okay.
Peter's. They're always in the top 5 in America. when it comes to just real good northern New Jersey football.
Right.
Deerfield Beach tells you, how committed they are to these games and how they've done this for a long time. They actually bust up from Deerfield Beach, Florida to Montvale, New Jersey. Now, they did it over a 3-day period. Along the way, they stopped and took recruiting trips at different colleges. So I don't know what the exact schedule was, but like maybe day one they visited going up Route 95. Maybe they visited South Carolina, then they visited Maryland, then they visited Rutgers. But along the way, they stopped at colleges and played the game and turned around and drove back home 18 hours to Deerfield Beach or whatever it was. So it's the one thing that happened since we booked this game. Their beloved head coach, who was there for many years, Javon Glenn, he left to take a position at Power Chaminade Madonna.
Okay.
And in South Florida,
yeah,
the transfer rules are basically there are no rules. So a lot of the kids left the program after the fact. If they didn't go to Chaminade Madonna, they went to other area schools. So the team that's going to be playing Colquitt is not the same team that it was 6 months ago when we planned this event. But you know what? There's great athletes down in Deerfield Beach. They love their football. So I'm confident they're going to show well. So as far as American Heritage in the second game against your Vikings, there's 5 players you want to have to look out for. Wide receiver Brandon Innes, he's a 5-star. He's committed to Ohio State. We have Damari Brown, who's a cornerback. He hasn't chosen where he wants to matriculate yet, but he's got 31 offers. He's a 4-star. Another 4-star, Damon Fagan, is going to NC State. It's a safety. Running back Mark Fletcher, 4-star, also going to Ohio State. Number 5, 5th best player on their team is Shamar McNeil. He's a 3-star cornerback going to Missouri. So American Heritage has a lot of players on both sides of the ball. Remember when we spoke with Coach Smith when we interviewed him?
Yeah.
Some of these guys will go both ways. Remember, they only travel with about a roster of 40. So American Heritage is going to have its hands full. They're playing, of the 2 teams that are coming up from Florida, Heritage is the better team at this moment in time. In our inaugural preseason top 25 poll, we have them at number 15 to start the season. So that's really a review of the 2 Floridian teams. So we're hoping all goes well. I know I'm very comfortable with the admin at Lowndes, how organized they're going to be, and I know it's going to be a great night. I can't wait. Again, this is a bucket list item for me, going to Wintersville for the first time in my life. And why don't you tell the fans here where you and I are going to be the day of that game from 2 to 4 p.m.?
Yeah, we're going to be, for the local folks in this area, we're going to be hosting a happy hour kind of early in the afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Woodstack Barbecue and Pub here in Valdosta, Georgia. So it's going to be fun. It's located right there on North Valdosta Road. You can't miss it. Right across from a Hyundai car dealership. So anyway, I'm looking forward to some meeting some fans there, getting to know them, and it'll be the first time they get to know you, and so I guess they'll meet the legend himself, Joe Mamone.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So you and I, we're situated at our own little table. We'll get a big table, obviously, and as people come over to us, we'll just talk high school football for a few hours, eat a little good food, barbecue, drink a little bit, and then head off to the game at 4 o'clock and enjoy the rest of the night. So I'm looking forward to it, to getting to see the city of Valdosta and Lowndes and hanging out with all of our fans, whether it's your show, my show, our nationalhighschoolfootball.com site. A lot of posters from Colquitt and Lowndes always grace us with our presence, and we look forward to meeting with them.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of Colquitt County, they are returning a lot of players from last year's team. They're a very experienced team. They're getting a lot of hype during the preseason. picked to, I guess, I think they're in the top 5 preseason polls all across Georgia, the various different polls. So we're expecting a very, very good team. They're returning their quarterback. They got a couple of really, really, really good running backs. I think they've got a D1 tight end, a couple of linebackers that are highly rated. So I expect them to perform well. Now, Deerfield Beach is not any type of pushover. They finished 9-3 last year. Really a high quality team. But do you expect them to be able to take down Colquitt County?
If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would bet the house on Colquitt County right now, only because Coach Glenn leaving and his players, a lot of his star players leaving the program after that happened. They're going to be fighting an uphill battle, in my opinion. But like they always compete. They've been a client of mine for 7 years. Wherever I send them around America, they've always shown well and played hard till that last last second clicks off the clock. So I have all faith in them that they're going to show well and represent their state well. And then I know for sure American Heritage will.
Right. Now, the second game, so that Colquitt game starts at 5 o'clock there at Martin Stadium. The second game starts, it's probably going to be around 8, could be as late as 8:30, depending on how late the first game ends. But I'm expecting that one to be I'm hoping it's competitive. Man, I was just writing down all the stars that you were saying that were coming up from American Heritage. What do you think the key to that game is? If you're a Lowndes fan and you're watching this and you just hear Joe Mamone from Prep Gridirons, rattle off all those 4 and 5 and 3 stars coming up to Martin Stadium, you got to be thinking, man, can we compete? But what do you think the keys for Lowndes is going to be to slow down that high-powered American Heritage team?
The key is to make sure the Patriots don't start off fast. If you guys go down 14-0 after the first 6 minutes of the game, it's going to be a tough road to hoe. If you can, I think the first quarter, if you maintain your poise through the first quarter, remember you're going to have more depth for sure. They may have more star players, but it's 11 on 11.
Right.
They may have, players 1, 2, 3 might be better than your top, but you may have better players from 4 through 11.
Yeah.
So I just say, as long as you don't turn the ball over a lot, and you play, your special teams is good. When you're punting, making sure you're getting good punts away and keeping them on their side of the field at the start of every down. That's the key, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because as the game goes on, I always favor the home team as the game goes on, especially in South Georgia. American Heritage, in my opinion, I don't think they're going to be used to playing in front of crowds like we expect at Lowndes that night.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, I would hope that after the Colquitt game's over, their fan base, or some of them, most of them, will stay and watch the second game because it's such a high-profile opponent. But yeah, who knows? Maybe the crowd gets to them. I don't know how the weather's going to be that night. I haven't looked yet. So who knows how they react? I know the times that I've seen them play and I've booked games for them. They haven't been in at a home field like Lowndes has, with all that they're going to be thrown at them in terms of just rabid fans and noise and all those things.
Yeah, it's too early in the week to know what the weather forecast is going to be hour by hour, but I'm looking ahead now, and there is a 70% chance of storms on Saturday. We don't know what time of the day that's projected to be.
Yeah,
but that actually might help help the Lowndes team. Now, Lowndes is going to be, Joe, I'll be honest with you, man. Lowndes is going to be a mystery team to start off this game. Mainly because, their star quarterback, Ja'Cory Brown, now down at the University of Miami. He's chasing some dreams down there, trying to become a starting quarterback down there. But he's gone. He was a 4-year starter at Lowndes, and he was the heart and soul of that Lowndes offense. Now we also, or I say we because I'm a Lowndes guy, right? So we also lost our starting running back to graduation, a couple of wide receivers to graduation, 3 out of 5 offensive linemen to grad. So it's going to be a rebuilt offense with a new head coach and a new coaching staff with a new offensive coordinator. So it's going to be a new scheme. That's why I say it's going to be a mystery
Yeah,
what to expect from
it's
this
very
Iowa
similar.
program.
Like I said about that first game, when we booked this event about whatever it was 6-9 months ago, like I said, Deerfield Beach was a totally different team with their coaches. Same goes
Yeah.
for Lowndes. Coaches have changed, players have changed, so it's kind of Lowndes is kind of mirroring Deerfield Beach in those ways.
That's right.
But again, you're Lowndes. From what I hear, you guys reload year after year.
That's right.
Shouldn't I've always heard whether the team goes 2-9 or 9-2, the fans are going to be there. So that's what I expect when I get there Saturday night.
Yeah. So I'm expecting some good times. Now, I'm just curious, how did this game did you just think that you told me earlier on that you always wanted to put together a marquee matchup kickoff classic for this area. How did you settle on these two programs? And then how did you pick up the South Florida teams?
Well, we have a technology with the press of one button. I contact upwards of 400 coaches and ADs from around the country.
Yeah.
And I could target that. So in this case, I sent out correspondence to all my Florida clients,
Right.
just Florida clients. And, those were literally the first 2 teams that pop up. That's normally what I do. I'll do it in order as they pop up. They'll get back to me. They want to be educated on the opportunity. I'll let them know what it entails, and then they'll say yes or no. So I'm trying to think if there was any other Florida team that came in after the fact. But no, I said they're the first 2 to get back to me. They both agreed to the terms. They love the opportunity, and then we signed a contract a few weeks later.
I got you. So this inaugural event is going to be played at Martin Stadium in Valdosta this year. But this is a 2-year deal. So next year the game goes where?
It switches hosts. So
Okay.
Colquitt will be hosting next year, and Lowndes will be playing the first game at 5:00.
Gotcha. Okay. So do you have an idea of the teams that's on the slate for next year?
Not yet. I've reached out to all the Florida teams again. I've reached out to Chaminade Madonna, St. Thomas Aquinas, Miami Central. We try to we want variety. I prefer not to have the same teams come back 2 years in a row if I can help it. But I'm going after the top 10, 15 Florida teams, letting them know about the event, and we'll see who's interested. It's still very early right now. I put the word out that the event is happening. It's real early for somebody to commit now. A couple of people have asked me what it entails, and I've told them. But rest assured, it's going to be 2 top teams when I do secure them. It's the games. The goal of this event is for the games to get better and better each and every year, more competitive.
Yeah, now I'm hoping that the stadium is packed full of people. I'm expecting a lot of folks to be there. Now, there's people all over the state that's probably going to be interested in these couple of games as well as across the nation. How can people reach or watch this game? It's going to be live streamed on Flow Football, right?
It sure is, yeah. We're as you know, Flow Sports is the largest streamer of amateur athletics in the world. They have 25 different channels by sport. They have Flow Wrestling, they have Flow Track and Field, Flow Softball, and obviously this is going to be on the Flow Football channel. So if you go to flowsports.tv, and then all the 25 sports are listed, you click on the football channel, and then you'll see my logo, Prep Gridiron Logistics. You click on that, and then boom, you got the 55 game schedule that comes up, and then just scroll down right the first 2 games of our season. So you just click on the game and fill out the form and put in your credit card information, and it's done.
Now, if other folks want to check out, because let me just back up, ask this question. So after this game or couple of games is over with, you still have a pretty good slate of great games that's going to be streamed on Flow all throughout the season, right?
We have 55 games. Remember, we list them by game number 1 through 55. So our event next Saturday is games 1 and 2. It's the first two events of our year. There's 53 others after the fact. And remember, our season, our Flow season goes from August 20th to about November 18th. So it's almost exactly 90 days. And the cost, what it is with Flow, you have two options. You either buy an annual subscription, a 12-month, or you go month to month. And the monthly fee is $19.99. So if you just do the monthly option, it's 3 times $19.99, say $60. $60 divided by 55 games, it comes out to like $1.07 per game.
That's right.
So if you're a rabid football fan and you love watching high school football from all around the country and watching the best teams, remember, I only deal with the top 250 teams in America. So every game is going to be good. Very rarely will there be a 70-0 game or something like that. These are all highly ranked teams.
Right.
So literally for $1.07, I think it comes out to a game. You could subscribe for 3 months and see our whole slate of games. So go to flowsports.tv, click on the Flow Football channel, and you'll learn about everything I'm talking about right now.
Joe, I got to be honest with you, that's pretty impressive. It really is. So when does your scheduling begin, or are you working on next year's games now, or when?
I am. I'm working. I got two emails this week from 2 teams in Indiana that want me to find them the best competition for an out-of-state teams early August next year. So yeah, it's consistently going. I mean, most of this happens after January 1st.
Right.
Each state's different, but I could at least start lining up the teams because a lot of I'd say 80% of what we do is interstate matchups: Georgia versus Florida, California versus Texas, Ohio versus New Jersey, games like that. But we do have probably, I'd say 10 or 20% of our games are big time rivalry games.
Right.
Intrastate games. Like we have Colquitt, Lee County. We have Lee, Northside, Warner Robins. I'm trying to think who else in Georgia. We have Buford playing Mallard Creek. So, we have games from all over the country, both and all over Georgia, basically, South Georgia and the Atlanta, greater metro Atlanta area. So yeah, the games that are rivalries, like I can call up Fabrizio tomorrow, and he'll tell me he already knows what his home game is going to be for 2023 on the rivalry side. So I could put them in pencil. So yeah, I start to do that now. So last year we did 29 games we have 4-year agreement with Flow. First year we did 29 games. This year we're doing 55. Next year my goal is 75, and then year 4, the final year of the contract, I'm going to try to shoot for 3 figures and do 100 games. Wow,
that's pretty impressive, man.
And the good thing is, Larry, this year, the money. I basically put together hundreds of games a year. The best 50 to 60 I save and put on Flow, and they give me funding for streaming rights. So I'm buying the streaming rights to these games. 80% of the money I get from Flow is going back to the teams that are playing on the field. This year alone, just this year, we're paying out over $240,000 in streaming rights to our member institutions, our member schools. 240 grand going out to the teams that are playing these 55 games.
Yeah.
So the more games I schedule, the more money I'll have to dole out. So that's the goal. I've said this from day one, and you know it. I do what I do as a labor of love. My goal is to grow this game that we love at the highest levels, and that's what I'm doing day by day.
That's pretty impressive, man. So you're coming in for the local folks again. You're coming in on Saturday, and we're going to be hosting a local meet and greet / happy hour at the Woodstack Barbecue and Tavern there on North Valdosta Road between 2 and 4 p.m. And the game starts with Colquitt and Deerfield Beach. Starts at 5 o'clock, so it's perfect timing. Come on out, meet us, have a little bit of fun talking about the upcoming season. and then we'll just drive on over to the stadium and watch Colquitt beat Deerfield Beach.
And don't have breakfast that morning. My goal is to have a huge table full of fans with you and I, Larry, and us eating a lot of barbecue and drinking our favorite drink. So if you're going to have a breakfast, make it light.
Yeah. They have Joe, just to give you a hint, Woodstack has a really good brisket and fantastic burnt ends.
Nice.
Fantastic. So anyway,
you're talking to a Yankee here. I don't think I've had a burnt end in my life, so I'm looking forward to that.
we're
I
gonna
don't
have
even know
to
what I don't even know what it means, buddy. But
We're
it sounds
gonna
good.
get you some. So it's exactly what it sounds like,
right.
but it's delicious.
All right, I'm looking. Hey, when in Rome, baby. That's what they say. When in Rome.
Absolutely. So, guys, if you would like to join our talk all year round about the most prominent teams all over the country, join us at nationalhsfb.com. So join the fun, and we look forward to having you there. So, Joe, thank you so much for joining us tonight to talk about these premier games that are coming up. The Georgia-Florida Challenge, 5 o'clock at Martin Stadium. First game, Colquitt versus Deerfield Beach. The second game, the nightcap, probably starts around 8:30, something like that. Lowndes will host American Heritage. A lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
All right, Wintersville. We'll see you on Saturday.
All right, man. We'll see you then.